Something absolutely wild is going on in Florida. After the Trump administration cracked down on immigration, they're now so short on workers that lawmakers are floating, let's just say, some rather questionable ideas. While this is happening, a US soldier's wife is calling out the Trump administration and JD Vance in a viral video. So buckle up and don't go anywhere because we've got a lot to unpack here. How's it going? My name is Hunter Avalone with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. And don't forget to click that like button if you also agree that the entire Trump administration is ridiculously incompetent. Now, as I was saying, what happens when you deport the very workers that your state relies on, and now all of a sudden you have nobody else to fill the less desirable jobs? Well, Florida has an answer. They want to bring back child labor. Florida debates lifting some child labor laws to fill jobs vacated by undocumented immigrants.
What's wrong with expecting, like, our young people to be working part-time now? I mean, like, that's how it used to be when I was growing up. Why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally, when teenagers used to work at these resorts?
Across Florida, a state bill is considering rolling back restrictions for minors in the workplace. Senate Bill 918 is asking to remove restrictions for teens and allow them to work overnight. It would also allow them to work more than 30 hours a week when school is in session.
I guess there's no real reason for me to be surprised that Make America Great Again literally just meant bring back sweatshops.
I think we're moving in the wrong direction with this bill by removing these guardrails to protect our children from exploitation.
15 people spoke during public comment, with the majority of them opposing the bill. Many more people waived their right to speak, and only a few of them supported the bill.
If your justification for passing this bill is to allow minors to help provide even more for their family, then that's just deeply shameful. You're admitting that there's a cost of living crisis so bad that kids have to choose between their education or keeping their family afloat. And instead of taking big corporations to town or tackling the affordable living crisis, you're making kids work like it's the Gilded Age. It's shameful.
I've been saying this for so long, that when you deport a bunch of immigrants, whether they're here legally or not, you destroy the American economy. We've already looked at the statistics. If we were to deport all of the undocumented immigrants in this country right now, the US labor force would shrink by 6.4%. That is a $1.6 trillion deficit to the GDP. The US economy would also shrink by 5.7%. Again, deporting individuals, people that are paying into this country and benefiting this economy, nothing but bad comes from it. The number of child labor violations in Florida has nearly tripled in recent years, according to US Department of Labor statistics. Now imagine your husband is deployed overseas, but the US government is so careless and incompetent that they accidentally leak classified info about your husband's unit in a group chat with a journalist. What would you do? Well, one wife of a US soldier in Yemen has gone viral after she blasted JD Vance and the Trump administration for their careless mistake. Take a look.
As someone whose husband is currently deployed in the Middle East, not far from Yemen, I'm going to warn you now, this is going to be the angriest fucking video I have ever made in my entire life, because there are not adequate words in the English language for me to fully fucking communicate to you right now how fucking furious I am. In case you haven't seen yet, news just broke that multiple high-level members of the Trump administration, including Vice President JD Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, shared highly classified information about upcoming troop movements and strikes in Yemen via a signal chat that they accidentally added a reporter to, violating the Espionage Act in the process and putting the lives of thousands of service members, including my husband's, at risk. They did all of this after we they already knew that Signal had recently been hacked by Russians looking for information about troop movement. Even if you set aside the fact that they accidentally included a reporter, they still put troop lives at risk. Their phones could very easily be hacked. Their phones could very easily be stolen. Their phones could very easily be left behind at whatever Pete Hegseth goes to after work every day to get drunk because he's a alcoholic. Every single Republican member of Congress better be on national news within the next few hours calling for the resignation of every single member on that group chat, up to and including JD Vance. There is no world in which it is acceptable for any one of those to still have their job by the end of today. In a sane world, this scandal would be presidential administration ending. This scandal would single-handedly bring a presidential administration to their knees. It would end them. It is only because of the pathetic slavish devotion of MAGA types and the fact that they will sell out every value they have ever claimed to have in order to justify every single evil thing that Donald Trump ever does. That is the only reason why this single scandal won't end Trump's presidency. But it absolutely should end JD Vance's career. It absolutely should end Marco Rubio's career. It absolutely should end Pete Hegseth's career.
Wow. If I were JD Vance, or just a member of the Trump administration in general, I would be taking a very long, hard look in the mirror after I heard that rant. Even worse, one delusional MAGA senator, he dismissed the Signalgate scandal and instead has been playing whataboutism about Hillary Clinton's emails, as if it's still 2015 or something.
But to compare the two between Hillary Clinton and what President Trump's cabinet members were doing is absolutely absurd. It's not even comparing apples and oranges. At least both of those are somewhat in the same shape. This is like comparing an apple to a steak. There is no comparison at all between the two.
But the wife absolutely ripped apart this senator as well.
But I do want to make it very clear, and I hope that you will take down this message and relay it to the senator to help encourage him to actually be a man and make sure that I get a call set up when I reach out to the scheduler. I want you to let him know that if he doesn't reach out to me, I'm recording every single time that I have called his office and left a voicemail or spoke to an intern like you. I am recording all of those. And if I don't hear back from him, I will be sending them to every possible newsroom, both in Oklahoma and nationally, to let them know that the senator is too much of a coward to call back the wife of one of the service members in his constituency that was put at risk. And so help me God, if I have to quit my job to make sure that I can drive to every campaign and public event that the senator has for the rest of his career, I will make it my life's work to destroy his career by making sure that every Oklahoman knows how few he gave about my husband's life and the lives of other active duty service members.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
All in all, I'm thrilled to see somebody giving these MAGA Trumpers such a difficult time because it's exactly what they deserve. They can continue to lie and downplay this absolute nightmare, but at the end of the day, this is a national security risk, and Donald Trump, along with his administration, just keeps getting riskier.